Hello there. In this video, I will show you on how to start your own koi pond. Firstly, start by selecting the proper place for your koi pond. If your pond is close to the house, then it could be enjoyed more. Consider this: koi ponds do better in a shaded area than in full sun. Full sun will work, but a shaded area will generally slow the algae growth down and will prevent the water from possibly getting too hot during the summer months. Keep in mind you want your pond to be in a place where you can see from both outside and inside the house. Next, determine how big you'd like your pond. Trace it out on the ground. One of the most fish, the smallest pond recommended building is 1500 gallons or 5680 liters. That may sound huge to many beginners, but most people who already have a koi pond will agree that if you build a pond much smaller than that, you will not be happy with it. Next, a bacteria tank and some kind of circulating water is your next step. Part of the pond construction will include a bacteria tank used to keep koi alive. Koi create a certain type of necessary bacteria, which keeps the water conditioned for them. These tanks help that bacteria thrive. People usually use the bacteria tanks as a waterfall to run over rocks and down into the koi pond. A waterfall or some kind of circulation is needed in order to keep the koi alive. Use the dirt from the hole you dug to create the pond's waterfall. Next, dug a hole with the correct measurement and cover with a pond liner, or make a concrete wall if you prefer a concrete pond. Liner should extend about a foot out of your hole. Anchor with large rocks. Smooth out liner as best as you can. Make sure, if you are walking around in the pond, not to rip your liner. If you want to make your pond with concrete, make sure that it is water sealed and leak proof. Next, install your water pump. Be sure the water pump has enough power for the size of your pond. All ponds and waterfalls need a circulating water pump. These comes in many different sizes according to how high you need to pump the water and how fast you want the flow rate. The pump will need to be placed in the pond, but it needs to be on the bottom of the pond floor by an inch or two. This keeps the pump from sucking up sediment. Next, install your water filter. The filter is the heart of your koi pond. The filter is what keeps the water clear and healthy for the fish. Many ponds have failed because the owners spent all their money on a beautiful pond and tried to save money on their filter. The filter serves two purposes. 1. It serves as a mechanical filter removing fish waste and anything else in the pond that would cloud the water. 2. It serves as a biological filter by converting the ammonia produced by the fish into nitrites and eventually into nitrates, which, in general, are harmless to the fish. Next, add rocks to your koi pond. Make sure they are safe for fish. Don't use decorative, colored ones that are used for other purposes as they may kill your fish. You will also need to use smoother rocks on the sides and bottoms, because koi are curious and rooting fish. They have a big risk of getting injured if you have sharp or pointy rocks. Next, fill your pond with fresh water. Make sure your pond retains water before putting in plants. Next, start to add plants to the pond if desired. Some people will argue that you must have plants in the pond because the plants are necessary to consume the nitrates that build up in the pond. That would be true if it weren't for all the algae that naturally forms in a pond. A healthy pond will normally develop a 3/4 inch layer of green algae on all the inside walls of the pond. This algae, which feeds on nitrates just like pond plants do, is usually more than sufficient to keep the nitrates at a safe level. Keep in mind, plants can take a while before they start to take hold and look healthy. Then, wait for 5 days to 1 week to let the water on your pond settle in. If pond is retaining water, you will need to wait for weeks before you put the koi fish in. It's important to let the water circulate and build up some sediment.